expecting. And most of the time, it might be big data. So that is stored on the other side of the memory called the heap. So anything that is non-primitive, because we don't know what size of data we're expecting, we are going to store them in the heap memory. So that is one of the difference between the two. Now let's write a small term here. I'll just comment, where is comment? Let's comment this and say variable a is equals to 10. So we saw this somewhere else, but variable b is equals to a. So what happens here behind the scenes is a memory address is created, but this is for the stack. So a memory address is created, is storing the value 10. And this memory address is linked to a variable called m. So if we say a, it knows which memory address to reference to. And then that's the first line execution. So for the next line execution, we say that variable b is equals to a. So this means that copy, and this is by value, not by reference, because it's a valued type. Copy by value whatever is in memory A and add it to a new memory called B. So we have a new memory created. Is storing the value B there. So this is what is going to happen now. So that is the execution of these two. And now let's try to compare this. I don't know if the comparison is two quotes is equals to B. What it will give us. I've never seen strict comparison on this other side, which will also involve the memory, but these are just being compared by value, and by value, of course, they are true. So we don't have that strict comparison, unless, of course, I stand to be corrected on this, but we don't have three quotes. We only have two, three equal signs. We only have two equal signs for comparison. So, and that is going to use by value. So they are compared by the value that they are holding. But let me create something else, a quick one. It will be a class. This will be from scratch. So I'll say class person is equals to the following. And I'll just give a name. So don't worry about this. Okay, before we go there, let's first continue with the above example. Just about of something. All right, so when I say b is equals to plus is equals 10, this means that I'm adding 10 to the value of b. So will the value of a change? Will it be 10 or will it be 20? This question I'm going to give it to someone. Regan, Jongea. So what is the value of b at this point and what is the value of a at this point?
Okay. When you increment b, also a increment. So, for example, at the first b is 10. So when you increment with 10, it becomes 20. For it to satisfy this question, also a will have to be increment since it will not be equal to b.
Okay. Leah, right. I think you're mute. We can't hear you though. You can still type also. No.
I think that B will be equal to 20 and A will not change, it will still remain 10 because the change has been made to B.
Right. Joseph, you had something different.
It's what Leah said. I think A does not increment because it was initialized with the previous value of B will not change because it was initialized with the previous value of A, and I guess the compiler read the value of A before the value of B before the.
All right. Cool. Let's put this into this diagram and try to see why 10 and 20 should be the correct thing. So up to this point in our diagram, we have covered the first two lines. And it's like now these two are independent of each other. So these two memory address don't reference to each other. They are working independently. Now, what will happen is when we execute this line, B is equals to plus 10, we will add 10 to the value of B. So we'll go to the memory and look for B and add 10. So we overwrite the value of B to B20. And then that's basically what happens. So when we print B and A, we are going to get 20 and 10. So that is the reason why they will not be the same. Because of course, again, code executes from top to bottom. So when it comes to value type, we always have to remember that they are copied by value, and the value is the value that is being held, or the text that is being held there. All right, so let's talk about class so that I can come to this other side. So one of the reference type is a class. So a class is a reference type, and a class is used to combine related variable fields and function together. It's more of like if I want to create a person has characteristic and a person has behaviors. So we can say the behaviors are the method and the characteristics are the properties of this person or the fields. In this case, they are mostly referred to as fields instead of properties. So things like name, age, height, weight, those are properties or the fields. And then things like walking, talking, eating, sleeping, those are some of the function or the behaviors that a person has. So let's create that exactly. And I will create a new class so that we can organize these, and I'll just call it person. Make it public so that I can see it from other paths. It's always by default internal. I'll just delete that. And then I'll start by saying string name. So don't worry about this. What this means, the get and set means it's a getter setup. So if we can still have one thing like that. So if it's a get, it means that we can only get this value, but we can't change this value. And if we have both get and set, it means that we can always update this value. The public is an access modifier, meaning that I can always use this or be able to see the name from any part of this application. Strings means the data type, and then name means the field name or the property name. So assuming I have two, so I'll have another prop. Prop is a shortcut. When you write prop, you click on your tab, and then you can use that to, it can generate some, snippets for you. And I love those two, and a method called talk. So I'll just say public, and then void. Void means that this method does not return anything. I'll just call it talk. And what I'll do inside here is I'll just log a message to my console, say that talking. Okay. Now, what this does is whenever I call this method or create an instance, right now we have to create an instance because we don't have anything static. We will be able to access these properties from anywhere. So back to my program, I can say, remember, if I want to create an int, I'll say int x is equals to 10. So the same case for reference, I'll still say something like int, but this case we are not using int, we are using a class called person. And I'll create a person like, let's say Morris is equals to something, is equals to new person. So what we have on this side is called an object, and what we have on this side is called instantiating. So we are instantiating an object. So a class is always a blueprint of something. So by blueprint of something, I mean that if I have a blueprint, I can create several things from, or several things from that. It's more of like I have a formula to something. So then I can use this formula to create something. So it's a blueprint of objects. So this means that I can create several objects from this class. And this is a way in which we can help in, instead of having to create so many objects, we can pass parameters and an object can be created. And we create a class, we start by an access modifier. We have seen that the keyword class and the name of the class. So let me just take you back to that. We started with an access modifier. This was automatically generated, but we had access modifier, the keyword class, and the name of this class. All right. Not to create an object or to be able to create a person from this class, we have to say new person. So when we say new person, something happens. The keyword new starts by, the keyword new will always, I don't know if it's the same. I'm trying to guess this from JavaScript. Let me confirm. You must use that in an high level. So what happens here is this part is very crucial because that's where it allocates space in memory. The new keyword in this case is used to allocate the space in memory. So by allocating space in memory is creating the space in memory. Now, this is a person we have created. We haven't given any property. So there's a shorthand initialization that we can use by just saying this. And also you can avoid saying person since it already sees that from this part. This is called, if you use this syntax, it's called the targeted